Science Consciousness Explained.
There is a creeping existential dread that comes with studying physics. It's the feeling that your life is already completely mapped out, and you are just a passenger riding along a pre-recorded tape. Pop culture usually offers us a fantasy escape hatch from this determinism: time travel. We love the idea of going backward, rewriting history, and stopping a tragedy before it happens. Imagine a modern aircraft carrier, like the USS Nimitz, suddenly slipping through a wormhole to arrive on the eve of a historic battle. The crew faces a choice: intervene and save the fleet at Pearl Harbor, or let history play out. But in actual physics, stopping the attack creates a massive causality violation. You cannot destroy the very past that eventually caused you to travel back in time in the first place. To avoid these paradoxes, physicists point to closed causal loops. If time travel exists, any events on a closed loop must be strictly self-consistent. The traveler's actions in the past are already baked into history, operating in a perfectly self-adjusted cycle. If history is an unbreakable loop where nothing can be truly rewritten, that implies our universe operates on a finalized script. And if the script is finished, our sense of free will is entirely nullified. This finalized script is perfectly captured by a temporal model called Eternalism, or the block universe. In this view, the past, the present, and the future all exist simultaneously. Tomorrow is as tangibly real right now as a city 1,000 miles away. Instead of a flowing river, time is visualized as a solid object. Every event that has ever happened or ever will happen is permanently stacked together into one unyielding mass. Taking this global, outside view of the universe leads to a dark conclusion. If your future actions are already sitting out there in the block, your daily deliberations and tough choices are nothing more than illusions of agency. But there is a flaw in this fatalistic thinking. To find our agency, we have to drop that imaginary, omnipresent perspective and zoom in on the actual laws of local relativity. Judging free will from a God's eye vantage point outside of space-time creates a false sense of determinism. When we ground our perspective back down at the localized human level, that rigid, predetermined block completely shatters. Relativity proves there is no universal clock ticking in perfect unison across the cosmos. Time and space are deeply personal, determined entirely by the location of the observer. This expanding cone model of spacetime maps out exactly what can affect you, governed by the speed limit of light. Look at the lower lines converging upward to point T1. That bottom half represents your personal causal past, the only events that have actually reached your coordinates. Everything outside of that cone is what physicists call the absolute elsewhere. It is a vast expanse of the universe, filled with ongoing events that have absolutely no physical connection to you yet. An event can happen 1,000,000 light years away, or just on the other side of town, but the information from that event takes time to travel across the physical distance before it finally crosses into your present reality. Because you are constantly waiting for information to arrive at the speed of light, your local past simply does not contain enough data to lock in your future. The math of your life is constantly missing variables. Living means experiencing a continuous influx of brand new, unpredictable variables crossing your light cone boundary. From your localized perspective, these external influences arrive from nowhere. Each collision alters your trajectory in real time, ensuring your immediate future remains entirely unwritten. We can even apply this back to our science fiction time traveler. If someone arrives from the future, they aren't shattering reality. They are just another new external influence entering your local light cone. This draws a hard line between changing a timeline and affecting it. You cannot change a past that has already occurred, but any agent, time traveler or not, participates in bringing about events as a local variable. The universe viewed as a massive, completed whole might be deterministic, but down on the localized human level, the physical laws of space and time guarantee that novelty and contingency dictate our daily lives. This creates a fascinating psychological paradox within our own memories. When we look back over our shoulder, our timeline appears as a single, solid line of destiny. Retrospectively, we can easily trace exactly how all those random external influences collided to produce our current situation. It gives us the false illusion that every step of the journey was somehow meant to be. But try looking forward. Without the benefit of those arriving variables, which are still hidden out in the absolute elsewhere, you are staring at a horizon of pure, branching possibilities. This validates our deepest intuition about free will. Even if the universe is a closed loop, in the exact fleeting moment of action, the agent still completely possesses the local physical ability to do otherwise. The fixed nature of the past is only ever post-determined by the choices we eventually make. It is never predetermined before we act. Biologically, human beings are highly complex, open systems. We spend every second of our lives channeling energy and processing external influences to generate behavior. Your cognition, your memories, and your active deliberation are the exact physical mechanisms the universe relies on. They are the gears turning scattered incoming possibilities into concrete reality. Your conscious decisions regulate how these exogenous forces affect the world around you. Those internal neurological processes dictate massive, tangible outcomes, from moving a cup of coffee to winning a Nobel Prize. The laws of relativity do not strip you of your autonomy. By enforcing the speed limit of information, they actively protect it, ensuring that your local choices matter. We are the literal, physical crossroads. We are the exact points in space-time where the universe's scattered events finally meet and collapse into history. The universe requires your localized choices to write its timeline. So, what reality are you going to bring into existence today?